Welcome to the Heart-Led Business Show, where compassion meets commerce and leaders lead with love. Join your host, Tom Jacobs, as he delves into the insightful conversations with visionary business leaders who defy the status quo, putting humanity first and profit second. From heartfelt strategies to inspiring stories, this podcast is your compass in the world of conscious capitalism. So buckle up and let your heart guide your business journey.
Rumble with Resilience. We've got the Dr. Robb Kelly, a renowned recovery renegade, on the Heart-Led Business Show today. This psych PhD, tickler of trauma, and author extraordinaire turned his turmoil into triumph, building a beacon of those battling addiction. Strap in for a riveting conversation about his heart-led hustle and healing. Tune in, tune up, and take off as we unlock the tale of transformation. Dr. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tom. Great to be here. Hey, guys, sit down. This is going to be a good one.
Awesome. So the first thing I always like to ask guests, Rob, is what is your definition of a heart-led business?
Giving back, period, guys. I chased the money for so long, and I thought I'd find happiness there, but it doesn't. And what happened is when I led by my heart, I have 5 businesses today. Not bad for a homeless guy, but everything is not about the profit. We turn people down all the time. 25% of our business is pro bono, giving back to the community. And I think once you find that peace within yourself, you can start that heart-led anything. And with what we know about neuroscience today, we can change your thinking. We can change the way you achieve or not achieve. And it's just amazing. But it has to come from here first, and the rest will follow.
That's a great definition. So tell us a little bit about your business or all of your businesses and what got you into, what inspired you to have a heart-led business in the first place.
I suffered from addiction and alcoholism as a young kid. Lots of stuff happened, crazy stuff. And at the age of about 25, I became homeless and I lived on the streets, sleeping in bus shelters, in parks, stuff like that. And I swore, I believe in God. I believe not Bible God or church God. I just believe in Yeshua, God, whatever your name for it. There's an energy out there that connects with my energy of the mind that seems to work. So I swore to myself, if I ever get off the streets, I'm gonna set these business up to help people. So we have the Robb Kelly group, which basically is we deal with entrepreneurs these days. It used to be all addiction, but it's only 10% addiction now. It's entrepreneurs with the neuroscience that we know, taking them to another level. So if you're earning, I don't know, 200 grand a year, then we'll double that. We say we double it straight away, otherwise it will refund your money. So that's this side of the company. We help people, we inspire people. I do lots of TV and books and stuff like that. And then right next door to my offices, I have the English Cafe restaurant, which serves British food through and through. You'll not find any American food, even though I like American food. So it's pure Britain. And my sister and brother-in-law run that. But again, it's more about, we're not as expensive as other restaurants because we believe that if we, run it from the heart and not the chasing money part of the mind, then everything will happen. And again, it's done. I have a security company that does private entrances and exits and cameras for high security buildings. I have the conference, which is the Neuro Hero Conference. I go from zero to hero. And then I have a conference company called the Neuro Realtor, where we train realtors to run your own business. Even if you're working for Keller Williams, let's say everyone's individual as a real estate agent. So we do that as well. And I only work 4 or 5 hours a day, would you believe? So you say all that, you go, my goodness, we employ people that we start everybody, Tom, on $300 a week. That's it. I want to see your heart. I want to see why you're doing this. I want to see why you've come to us to work for us. And God will try us and test us and throw money at us. And we just got to be vigilant, which is the right choice for us. And all my staff are the same. We're not money grabbers. We believe we'll be taken care of. We want to help others.
That's beautiful too. But having all of those businesses and only working 4 to 5 hours a day, like you must have really good people and really good processes in place. How did that all come about so that you could only work 4 or 5 hours a day?
When I first came over to America 18 years ago for 2 weeks only, I stayed and chased the money zone. And it was a case, because I had nothing in England. There was nobody. I came over here, got my first film contract within 3 months of being here. And I chased the money. If we just get like 10 grand in the bank, if we just get 50 grand, 100 grand, 500,000, 1,000,000, 5 million, 10 million, I was the unhappy person. I was the saddest person in the world. So we decided, go back to my basics of helping people. Forget the money. I don't even know how much I have in the bank. I didn't even know how much we charge. I stay well away from that because I get tempted with that stuff. So I decided to build a business, and this was the first business, the Robb Kelly Group. I wanted people, I used to remember Sunday nights, like, oh, got work in the morning. So I wanted to build a business where people counting up the hump days and the TGI. I didn't want that. I want people like Sunday night to go, oh, I'm going to work tomorrow. Brilliant. So we're very selective. If you've been through some troubled times, we love that. We're all on board with that. And there's a strict process to work here. And the bottom line is, again, like I just said, why are you? Are you here to help people and give everything to people? Or are you here to just earn a paycheck and go home? Because if the paycheck you want, well, I'm sorry, but we're not interested. So we start people on $300, see the heart, see the passion, and then we pay them what they are worth. So it's another subject completely. So yeah, that was it. It's just helping. There's so many people going through so much trauma. There's so much people going through starting their own businesses and failing just through lack of knowledge, by the way. It's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just this. Once we get this correct, you can do anything you want to do, guys. And when I used to say that some years ago, Tom, I can't be president of the United States. Let's forget your political views for a second. We had a business and run the country for 4 years with no political experience. Don't dare tell me you can't build an empire. Don't dare tell me that you can't live your dreams. It's just not true. Somebody's put that.
That's such a great message too. And I'm sure that's part of the coaching that you do with high performers who want to take it to the next level is where are those limiting beliefs coming from and how do you get over them as well? So that's great.
I love that.
It's so true.
It is. It's limited beliefs are from childhood trauma, which is the gateway drug and the ruin to every adult person if you don't sort it out. And it only takes a little dad or a teacher in the corner going, Rob, over there is a waste of time. You'll never amount to anything, Robert. Do you know that? That sticks in my subconscious brain. And it'll stay in the subconscious brain because everything we hear, touch, feel from birth is stored there. Billions and billions of tiny micro memories. But the subconscious brain wants to kill us and make it look like an accident. So we have to perform from the conscious brain always, but it'll sit there in the back tone and it'll waste the time, never imagine. And just when I'm about to sign that contract, get that job, buy that car, buy that house, it'll get released to the prefrontal cortex and I'll hear my dad going, you'll never amount to anything. And I'm back up. And all this is subconsciously. So unless you come from the conscious brain, not the subconscious brain, because most people do. I mean, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. I mirror the 3 people around me. So if I hang around 9 depressed people, I will become the 10th. If I hang around 9 people that I want to be, that really know what's going on, to serve others, to be kind and to run a business heart-led, I'll become one of those, and that's what I did.
You are the sum of the people that you surround yourself with as well. I think that was Jim Rohn that said that years ago as well. And I think that's very true. But I'd like to back up into your story a little bit more about being homeless and what ultimately got you out of that situation and to start achieving more.
I was a musician. I've always been a musician, wanted to be a pro musician. And I got there before homeless. I worked at Abbey Road in London, and I was the best bass player around. That's what I kept telling myself. I played with John Bowie, Queen, all them guys, beautiful guys. But then I became homeless, lost everything. During that time on the streets was horrific. I got beat, I got stabbed, stuff like horrible stuff. And then I learned, because of my upbringing on council estates or projects, lower performing projects, I started with the anger. And then when I become angry, then you couldn't win a fight with me. I was too quick, I was too fast. And then slowly but surely I degraded as I ate less food and drank more alcohol. But one night I was walking near the factories and offices outside Manchester. There's not a person in sight. It's 2:00 in the morning-ish. And I dropped down to my hands and knees. And I was sobbing like a baby. Now, from the stomach. Now, I wasn't sobbing because I'd lost my children, my wife, my houses, my car, everything. I wasn't crying because of that. I was sobbing for the first time, I realized I couldn't stop drinking. And this was after 7 suicide attempts. And on 2 occasions, I was dead. They brought me back to life. So when people say, why did you do what you do now? And how are you making money? I died twice on the street. That's why. And you have to have that mentality of what can anybody do to me that's going to ruin me or have an effect that I haven't already done to myself in the past, whether that be failed businesses or whatever. I looked up to the sky and I said this as an atheist, a staunch atheist, because everything was taken away from me. I looked up and I said, if there is a God up there, I can't do this on my own anymore. Sorry, I still get emotional about that after 30 years. The guy walked around the corner, Tom, he had a little Bible in his hand, and he said, do you need help? He was taking a shortcut that he'd never taken. He's missed his last bus home from Bible study. He came across me. He took me back to his house. We're all good. And then he said, you can stay here, but you've got to come to these AA meetings with me, and you can stay here for as long as you like. I hated them meetings, same old crap. But I went because it was a dry bed. While I was there, this guy called John spoke, and it was amazing. It was like this hero had walked in the room, and he was very quiet. So I asked him to sponsor me after, and he said, no, but I'll be your spiritual advisor for a period of 12 weeks. Every Wednesday, I'd leave Derek at 6. I'd get there till 7, stay till 8, and I walked home, got home at 9. So that was 3 hours of my life every Wednesday. Did that for 12 weeks till. When I walked out of that man's house on the last day, he told me that all these things are going to happen. And the next day, they started to happen. And my life of helping people on the door and no answer. And it was like curtains looked a lot dirtier than then. The girl on the right hand come out, she said, can I help you? And I said, can you tell me where John is? Does he still live here? I got there at 5:07. I had to wait downstairs until 7. And at 8 o'clock, no matter what we were doing, he walked me to the door. Okay. So I think these two guys are crazy. So I go back to the meeting where I'd met John several months ago. And when I walked in, the chairman went, oh, Rob. I said, thank God for that. You recognize me, because I've never been there again. He said, yeah. I said, is John still coming? He said, John who? And I'm just about to punch him on the nose. I said, I was over near the coffee machine. I asked him to sponsor me. And he said, Rob, we thought you were praying. You were over near the coffee machine speaking to yourself. And that was my journey. Now, months later or years later, when I become wealthy, I hired the best detective service in Manchester, and we could never find it. Never found him since. But what he taught me is the knowledge I have today of being able to achieve whatever you want to achieve. You know, we have the neuroscience to that. So that's kind of the story behind that. And that's where my life started to take off.
What a journey, for sure. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing. And really what he taught you about putting other people first, that's carried you very far, obviously, in your life, and that's carried you through. How has that shaped the businesses that you've created and then the people that are working with you?
I think this is one of the reasons why we're successful, because we do what other businesses don't do. First of all, we offer a money back guarantee, and in the addiction world, that is insane. Nobody in the world does it. We have something that works, and we know we do have something that works. So the people who come on board know that. And it's all about passion. Everybody in my company carries a pro bono patient or a pro bono entrepreneur. We try not to turn anybody down because it's very expensive to come out, obviously. So I deal with the A-listers, and all of our staff deal with the guys like me who can only afford a certain amount of dollars an hour. So we cover the spectrum, and we're proud that we cover the spectrum. And it's the passion. And we all sit down every Monday and we go through. And when we explain the neuroscience behind the business and all the businesses in life that we have today, people get on board and they can relate to it. So, my God, let's just say, for instance, we get up in the morning and the subconscious brain runs our day unless we do something about it. That's the guy that's nervous, not going to match anything, he's going to cheat, he's going to cheat his wife. This is the subconscious brain, wakes up every morning. Why does it wake us up? The subconscious brain thrives, just like any illness in the body, in a hypoxic state. So when we wake up from sleep, our body is low. We wake up, subconscious mind right there. And do you think you are? You're never going to achieve this. It's going to be a bad day. And if you have 5 minutes bad at work, we're going to strewn it all day. So you make sure you have a bad day. When you do your breath work, which is 20 exaggerated breaths in and out, it all of a sudden, it gets rid of that guy and it punches in the conscious brain. This guy, it can do anything, man. Literally anything. So I go through my day, I do my routine, I compliment 3 people, I do my mirror work, my teeth work, my breath work in the morning. I'm ready to go, man. All my body is energized and I can absolutely achieve anything I want to do. And the day goes great, Tom. But you know something? Who wakes me up tomorrow? This guy again. There's 3 parts of the brain that reset every 24 hours. Unless we know that and can address that, you're always going to come from this comfort zone where people tell you what you can achieve. Do you know how many times I've been told you can't do that? And my answer is always the same. It says, well, you can't. Tell me somebody who says I can't do it. Well, it's not me. I just said, boom, I did it. Boom, I did it. Boom, I did it. You know, life's too short. Everyone thinks, guys, listen to this. If you're an entrepreneur or you're running a business from the heart, like we all do, you think you have time. You don't have time. Time goes in a blink. Moms, how many times you're waving your kids off to kindergarten? Next minute, you say, I'm waving them off to college. We don't have time. So when we did our research, like everything we speak about with research, trial tested, we were able to ask family and friends, grandfathers and grandmothers in hospice, and they all said a common theme is, I thought I had more time. You don't. So do it now. Do it now.
What you're talking about too, waking up with that subconscious, is that where, some people say, oh, I woke up on the wrong side of bed. They're allowing their subconscious to rule their day. Is that okay? Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, that's it, Tom. And because it's subconscious, we don't know. We're just going through a bad day. We didn't get that job. It's childhood trauma, guys. If you can you imagine walking in that interview room with 20 other people trying for that job, knowing your identity, because most people lose their identity through life, knowing your identity and your worth. People all the time call me up, Dr. Robb, I'm thinking of opening a practice. How much should I charge? An hour. The answer is always the same. How much are you worth an hour? Can you imagine walking in that interview, knowing that everything you touch works unless there's a bigger plan? You would kill that interview. If I'm going for something that's 500, I know I'm going to get it because I know my true worth. I know myself today. I'm powerful. I'm tall. I'm strong. I'm kind. I get emotional when I watch sad movies. If I see a person on the street, I'm giving him money because I'm blessed enough to give people money. That's what I do. It's knowing you. And women all the time come out of marriages not knowing their identity, and they've been brainwashed by their husband. This is what we see here. No man will have you. You're lucky to have me. No one's going to see you with 2 children. It's just crap. So the subconscious brain, again, takes that and runs with it, and it's just not right.
And is that childhood trauma that you were talking about earlier, and that sits into our subconscious, is that also why we self-sabotage as we go through?
Oh, I love that question. You're the only, I've had thousands of podcasts and radio and TV things, and you're the only person that said that. Yes, it is 100%. We hear stuff, and alcoholics and addicts hear things differently. It's more aggressive that we hear. So the trauma that sticks with us will define our future. And that is why, like you just said, this happens to us. And most people, 90% of the people don't know. I would say 85% of people, let's just say in Texas, don't know the true self. They could perform 100%. That's what we do. We take people from 65 to 100. But because even if we get taking 500,000 a year, we think we're amazing, we're doing well, but there's some trauma that is stopping you earning 5 million or 10 million. And then for me, God tests me. We earn a bunch of money, and he's like, what are you going to do with that money? And we go, we're going to give it back. So we started the Robb Kelly Foundation about 2 months ago. But that childhood trauma is the gateway drug. That will kill you. And most people don't know it's there, but it's always there. Everybody has childhood trauma.
To get over that is that breath work, or interrupting the subconscious brain right when we wake up, right? The self-talk, the positive self-talk, the breath work, and just switching that from the subconscious to the conscious brain. Is that what you were saying earlier?
That's the childhood trauma stuff. There's the basal ganglia, the hypothalamus, and the amygdala are three of the bad players here, if we allow them. So the childhood trauma, you have to remember that the basal ganglia is like a repetition strength and confirms part of the brain. If you want to be a pilot, you've got to spend 10,000 hours. It's just that, and so you can do it subconsciously. So can you imagine that happening with the childhood trauma? It takes some deep trauma work. We use 9D breathwork therapy. We use psychology, NLP, SE. We use anything we can do with the latest science to change that. So in layman's terms, guys, we need to go back to the scene of the crime or crimes where this happened to you. And then we work on that. And then we bring you through to the current day. where you are performing. So it's deep work. Now, childhood trauma, oh, my parents got divorced. Oh, no. That's at one. Let's get to one. Let's get to the stuff that you're taking to the grave, or you don't even know, because at the time you thought that was normal. So when my parents dropped me off at their friends every Friday, we had to stay overnight because mum and dad were out drinking. And as soon as the car pulled out the driveway, these two married couple would say, okay, let's play the get undressed game and run around naked game. I thought that was normal. It's a game. And they would play with us, and we thought it was a game. So years on, when I became a bodybuilder, I would never take my shirt off. And I didn't know why, unless I was competing. I'd never take it off, even though I had this great physique at the age of 19, 20. And I did some eye trauma, and that's because when strangers are there, I'm expected to get naked. And that affected me in intimacy, in normal life, because that was always psychologically stripping you down, because you're not really worth anything. I can do anything I want to you. That's the childhood trauma we need to uncover, discover, and discard.
Yeah, that's interesting that what, as children, a lot of times we think it's normal, but it's not, because there's no reference point for it as we have as adults.
I know. And again, fleas from the pet store, we stuck them in a huge mason jar, and we put the lid on top, and we poked holes in it, and we left it for 3 days. Now, fleas can jump like 3 foot in the air. We took the cap off after 3 days. Not one flea jumped higher than where the cap was, which we thought was interesting. But then we left them in there, and when they had babies, the babies won't jump higher than where the cat was, and they'd never even seen the cat. That's the kind of childhood trauma we're talking about.
Generational trauma as well. Yeah.
Yes, it is, without a doubt.
Wow.
And you can be a chain breaker, guys. You can break this chain. Why would you don't want your kids to carry on the trade that my dad never, ever validated or approved anything that I did. Bodybuilding trophies, karate trophies, never said great job. My mom was brilliant. She was great. My dad may have said nothing. So what lesson do I learn from my dad is no matter what I do, I'm not good enough. And I carried that through until about 7 years ago when I worked on that part. That's why I was chasing the money, Tom. I wanted to prove to everybody, look at me, I'm so rich. Look at my Bentley, look at my $2 million house, look at my 50 grand Rolex. I was all over that. And you know what? It didn't fill the hole of my dad just saying, good job. It didn't fill that hole. I will never fill that hole until you do your work. And when you do your work, you can have anything and be anybody you want. The mind is so powerful. You would never believe how we could sit here, Tom, for the next 2 weeks, 24 hours a day, talking about how powerful the mind is, and we still will run out of time. Because what we can achieve with this is mind blowing. You ever heard the saying mind over matter? So the brain is energy, and the mind is energy, and the brain is matter. Can you imagine if we can program our mind to have this amazing life? Well, the good news is we can. And the better news is it's not that hard. And the even better news than that is everybody can do it.
That's fascinating. And I did want to get to how you make profit, but obviously putting other people first, really taking care of people, and then getting rid of the self-conscious sabotage, or helps you and helps us as business owners make sure that we are making a profit, even when we are still heart-led.
If you don't get complacent, and if you're passionate about what you do, like really passionate, and stand up and be counted with this, you have to be a leader in the community. You can't sit at home in that little comfort zone and hoping that someone's going to knock on the door and give you $1 million. You're on your own here. Okay. So why not you? Everybody who's listening to this right now is not listening by mistake. I give up coincidences 20 years ago with what I've seen with patients coming in here. You're listening for a reason. And the reason is, and ask yourself this question, what do I need to do today to change my life? When we're working with people, when we're complimenting people every day, there's a guy, a young kid went to the Golden Gate Bridge and threw himself off, committed suicide. So the police dragged him out, found his ID, went back to his apartment looking for next of kin. What they found was a letter on the table, and it read, I'm going to walk to the Golden Gate Bridge and commit suicide by throwing myself off, unless on the way there, somebody smiles, says good morning, or nods their head at me. In that case, I'll turn around and walk back. Question, guys, how many people have you walked past today who's heading to the Golden Gate Bridge? That's the stuff that makes entrepreneurs better than anybody else in your business. It's the caring, it's the passion, it's the never turn anything down. Say yes to everything. Be that leader, get on podcasts, get speaking in conferences. Just be that leader and don't take any crap of anybody, because you have a vision and you have a job to do. And the job is yours. Energy, and let's say God, Uncle Jimmy, whatever it is, has the energy over you. This is your job, to go out there and use your skills that you were given at birth to do. So neural pathways, there are billions. Every neural pathway for health, for wealth, success, already built in your brain. Okay? Here's the new thought patterns. Okay? So when I say I want to start a business, oh yeah, I want to start a business, great. Trauma misses the connection. When I start individual trauma, okay, what we need to do is connect those. And when we connect them, you can't disconnect them. So again, question, guys, there are 300-ish neural pathways every day that die in the brain. What are you replacing them with? Thoughts from childhood or conscious brain thoughts from today, where you can achieve anything?
Well, Rob, this has been just absolutely fascinating. And I know the listeners and the viewers are going to just devour this and want more. So how can people find out about your work and potentially working with you?
So I spell my name with two B's, ROBKELY.com is the website. Jump on there. I've got a team of people that can help you. And then Dr. Robb Kelly in any search engine will come up. The RobbKellyFoundation.org is our nonprofit. It's like this, Tom. Here's an example. You see the book in the background. It's called Daddy, Please Stop Drinking. It's the last thing my daughter said to me at the age of 3, 30 years ago. Okay. That book's on Amazon. Don't go to Amazon and buy it, and that's enough. But go on, have fun. All social medias, Dr. Robb Kelly, or the Robb Kelly Foundation, or the Robb Kelly Group. Have fun. We can message you. And I'll say this, Tom, I'll say this. And again, this is putting your money where you will change your life. In 20 minutes, I will change your life. Otherwise, I'll send you $50 for wasting your time.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, we'll definitely link all that up in the show notes so that the listeners can take advantage of that for sure. But again, thank you so much, Rob, for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom. I certainly appreciate it. I know our listeners appreciate it as well.
Thank you, Tom. Awesome. Great to be here.
And thank you for listening and watching the show today. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you're checking out everything that Dr. Robb Kelly is doing, and all that is going to be linked up into the show notes. And if you could do to us a really nice favor, and that would be to give the show a rating and review, I'd certainly appreciate it. And that also helps people learn more about the show and get the help that they deserve, especially from episodes like this with Dr. Robb Kelly. So next time, lead with your heart.
You've been listening to the Heart-Led Business Show, hosted by Tom Jacobs. Join us next time for another inspiring journey into the heart of business.